Hi, I'm Sifu Rick DeMille, and I sent you a video yesterday about confidence building in children. And I said that I was going to send another video about common obstacles to building confidence. And one of the obstacles that I see on a regular basis to building confidence in kids is their fear of failure. That's very common. You know, when you talk about building confidence, one of the things that is necessary is building competence. Because if a child or an adult doesn't have real skill, then it makes sense that they wouldn't have confidence. If I'm a martial artist and I say that I'm able to do this kind of a martial arts, but then I am put into a pressure cooker where I actually have to perform under pressure and I can't, then it's going to be a rude and painful awakening that I don't really have skill. And that is not a confidence builder, that's a confidence destroyer. So competence is super important, but the problem sometimes is that competence requires practice. It requires doing. It requires getting out there and putting yourself on the edge so that you can practice these new skills. And sometimes that's going to mean failing, falling down. Sometimes that's going to mean in martial arts losing a match, but that's part of growing. So one of the things that we need to teach our kids, whether it's in school, at home, in my martial arts school, is how to fail successfully, how to fail forward, how to look at failure not as an enemy, but as something that we don't need to be afraid of, as something that is actually a stepping stone to success. I had a student, for example, who was having problems in their jiu-jitsu, their grappling, and they were always ending up on bottom, kind of getting smashed. And he learned this principle of finding an important lesson. And what he did was, when he grappled, he would still end up on bottom, but he would find something valuable that he learned from that after every session. And he would share it with his instructor, and before you knew it, he was really starting to make progress. And he didn't look at failure as a foe. He looked at it as a friend, and he looked at it as something that could really help him to grow and make progress. So here's a practical exercise for you to do with your child today. Use the acronym FAIL, find an important lesson. Just sit down with them and think of an area that they have failed in. And ask them, what's an important lesson that you could get from that? Let's think of one. Maybe give them an example. Think of one from your own life and let them see you thinking through that process and pulling out a valuable lesson. And help them, coach them along so that they can do the exact same thing. And what you'll be doing is you'll be taking them one step closer to viewing failure as truly a stepping stone to success. That's one of the things that we're focusing on in the coming fall in our martial arts classes. And in fact, on Monday, I'll be sending you out a final email, and we're going to be opening up registration for our back-to-school classes. So watch for that email, and thank you for your time.